Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dead by Dawn Season 4. We are here with E-Kitten Alliance versus Extazy. We do see Extazy on the killer, but the Billy Blood Lodge seems to be more of the classic end of the set. But I'm not alone on the casting today. I'm here with Volkus. Volkus, what is your thoughts on Billy Blood Lodge sets?
Thank you very much, Feels. I'm very excited to be here, but I gotta say, Billy Bloodlodge, not exactly my favorite set in the world. I said it. This map can do some horrendous things for the killer side here, but I am sure Team Extazy has got it all figured out, screamed out thoroughly, and that Legion here on the Billy will be able to show us something wonderful. Maybe even a first down right here. Beautiful chainsaw maneuvering there to get a relatively timely first down. We see now the Corrupt is indeed gone off of the map, and we're going to be making something happen, getting a nice central mid hook now from which we can pressure. Of course, Billy being the machine he is on the map pressure, I'm sure we're going to see something lovely here.
Yeah, this is the cook that you kind of want to be seeing at this time in the game. It is really good for the high pressure games. We have a fantastic 3-gen over the scenario of a big 4-gen around this whole side, so this is the perfect cook to be in. We do have Hill here, so Bound Landing could potentially sit on the gem, but not quite getting
This
it.
this is actually a 5-gen here, if I'm not mistaken, Feels. This is insane gen spread, actually. There's almost nothing bottom. We've got a good, very holdable, very top-heavy gen split here. And this crane, I'm afraid, is going to be one of the very few resources the survivors have to fight back against the Billy. And it gets dropped right now, so after it's been sold through and eaten, a few fillers, one tile, and then it's going to be slightly problematic, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be problematic. Breaking this 5-gen is going to be a task for E-Kitten Alliance, but our Felix here is doing a great job kind of holding chase, but it's kind of really limited with the amount of gens over the side, and we go for a big hit, managing to get it through the window, leaving a slug as no miter is in place. So they might just decide to go back and take the pick, but they will have a hook within their gen set, which is the scary thing for our survivor team here.
So long as the chases stay here, so long as the downs happen here, the deeper top, this hook here is very nasty. And it's truly one that Legion here is very happy to be seeing that has actually spawned in. We get rid of this pallet, and now we need to start locking in on the macro plays. Now, Team E-Kittens will be able to pop some of the gens that the Billy doesn't care about protecting so much. I mean, when you spawn into a map like this and you see what is happening, you're immediately like, everything goes top, everything stays top, we do not leave top. Even when you have all of this gen pressure, giving a free pull on this side of the map would be just such a loss of momentum for the Hillbilly player. So very smart to go back, defend this hook. We have also got this nicely positioned hill here. This is just absolutely brutal RNG-wise. Another reason why this map is not the most favored by teams far and wide. But hey, it's not about the man, it's about the map, it's about the players that can play on it. And so far, there we go. The pull comes out onto E-Kittens now. Ring here, however, they might have some trouble, maybe even going for the tunnel, but no, we're gonna go after the healthy Nia here. We're gonna be able to get it down across and maybe a little curve across this. Very close with overdrive. That would have for sure been a down, but this will be another resource out of the way for Legion, and I'm sure they are more than happy to see this here. Oh my god! Right through that pallet. That is the best of both worlds right there, ladies and gentlemen, and this will result in yet another top hook. So the more this happens, the harder it gets for E-Kitten Alliance to fight back. They have less and less hook stages to throw at the Hillbilly in exchange for this gen progress. So they really kind of need to put the pedal to the metal, and they have done just that with a beautiful fast pull, very good positioning and comms there to know that the Billy is across the map and be able to pull them, but we do also need to deny this down.
Yeah, this guy needs to come in a timely fashion, or they might just lose it. His gen's a little bit. We do see Claude trying to flare out the chainsaw, but unfortunately just not quite getting there. We are going to take the hook and dragging it more into our gen set. So this game is really about kind of playing the safety they can, but with the RNG bottom, it's just not as possibly thing. We do see our Ronaldo here trying to sit on main, to pre-leave as best they can, but Pop is going to make it difficult for this main building gen to get done. We do see Hill has a good amount of pressure on it too. His team is fighting back towards this 5-gen, and they are trying to get the best result possible. But honestly, I feel like this might be looking towards kind of like a 4K1, just with the RNG we have.
it depends on how long depends, I believe, on how much this tunnel out takes out of him. So if he returns for the Nia, for the Clodea right now and is able to get them out of the game in a timely manner, then this would be good. But however, leaving any of the chases that might be coming up here topside is risky. There's no eruption in play. Beautiful crouch there by our Nia player to be able to dodge that chainsaw. But then again, this will be another filler of the cards and another no. But no, a bit of good pathing there to sort of bamboozle our Billy player. It's going to make him commit this chase onto the main building. And now, unless there's balanced landing in play, there's not too much to do here, and that doesn't sound like balanced landing to me. So I believe our no mither survivor is going to be going down. Swing and connect. No, dead hard. Beautifully expected there by Legion. Really, really well played, and doesn't commit to the swing through. But we need to be careful. The more we commit to this, the more the gens on the top side get done. We cannot afford to give up too much pressure to E-Kittens here, lest they pop those gens that we really, really care about. And yeah, very smart here. A few too many 50s won, so we will be going back top to see what it's all about. While 4 survivors are still on the map, this is still a playable gen split. This can still be done so long as we're pre-running well and using those exhaustion perks to our advantage. Saying that, we have the tunnel out target also completely healthy now, so that is another positive going for E-Kitten Alliance. And I must say, Fields, I'm really impressed by the determination and the grit E-Kitten Alliance is showing here. This could be a very mentally difficult situation to load into, but they are really pulling out the stops.
Yeah, this is definitely a hard place to be. The mental needs to be strong to compete with something so hard to break in general. This main building gen is absolutely diabolically high for how much time the chases have been. And obviously with so many people dying in the gen set as well, it's really, really difficult to balance out that pressure and also manage to get those down. But we do see a bit of a body block coming in from our Nia here, who is Deathhook. We might just decide to tunnel it to be able to get the the tunnel out, but unfortunately just not hitting that curve.
It's okay, it's okay. Legion can still take their time to be able to go back to the top and find as many survivors as they need. Obviously, the slowdown perks are limited on the Hillbilly. Colin O'Brien can put in some ridiculous work and get a lot of value in a situation like this, but we need to make sure those gens are regressing and that we have the ability to end of these chases quickly, just like that. And that is another fresh hook secured. So even if they were able to get all the generators completed here, we're still going to be looking at a high stages game. This missed skill check, and we're able to slug right on top of the active gen. This is absolutely huge, and we're gonna, oh my god, I cannot believe it. The missed skill check, the random 10%, that feels so bad. And Seb is more than Legion is more than happy to slug down Seb here. No mither, maybe an unbreakable in play, but I very much doubt it. No, but very fast. Team E-Kittens is doing a great job communicating and picking up that slug as quick as possible. We're gonna stick that gen, but Legion should know that this is what's happening, so we're gonna be able to catch somebody off. Now we gotta play for this 4K1. There's 2 generators, really high progress. We have a pop goes in the back pocket, and oh, did it pop? Is this a pop? If this doesn't pop, that is so sad. We get the grab, but we're not going to be able to kick this gen. Is there somebody else here to pick it up? It looks so high progress. I don't think there's anybody around just yet, and that's one person dead. Another person on the hook in top gens. This could be a very fast cascade downwards for E-Kittens into this 4K1, but still very admirable what they've done so far. Let's see them try to get out of this one in the 3v1 with one person already hooked and one injured.
Benji held that gem for dear life, hoping just to pop it, but unfortunately just not quite getting there in time. That gem, once in its glory, is regressing. Has been tapped, actually. So they might be trying to reconvene and get that gem back out. They do have hill and main building here quite on the higher side of progress. But we do see a couple of people kind of scattered around, but I think we need to make a decision on who we are going to decide to chase. Because, like I said, we need to get those chases down and quick, but we do catch our Felix just a little bit on the rotation there, but unfortunately just not getting the down.
Beautifully timed dead hard there, denying a very important down, denying the 2v1 altogether. That is absolutely huge for E-Kitten here, and that missed chainsaw is also really good. It looked like she was flirting with death a little bit, our Clodea player, but they were in fact not so much as it looked like to be. They were very confident and they knew what they were doing, so very well played here. Now, committing the no mither person this far away from the gens is very risky. This means you pretty much guaranteed have to take this hook and the kill, but this might be enough time to stack and pop that main gen. And even if that doesn't happen, it's all out of kicks, but it doesn't seem like E-Kittens is actually doing that whatsoever right now. They seem to be on a entirely different generator here. But is this really going to be the play? We have the hill gen. I see that the main gen has actually regressed a lot more than I expected. As I said, that Cole O'Brien can really put in work. And now that we're in the 2v1, I think the road uphill has become a bit too steep, feels. I don't think there's much more to be done. I think the 4k1 is slightly inevitable, unless Seb can have an absolutely insane chase here. But again, Legion can just, yep, redirect targets, go back. We know what the survivors are doing, and they're going to be able to catch the rotation. The sprint burst coming out, denying that immediate chainsaw and buying a bit more time, and now it's vice versa. Somebody has to hold this chase. Somebody needs to take the attention of the killer so that the last generator can be completed, and I'm just simply not sure if there is enough time on the board or enough resources on the map to make this possible. Legion does have some time to play with right now, but doesn't want to spend too much time committing, not opting to vault with the bamboozle just yet, just playing around this window for now that it has blocked itself, and we know it's sprint burst, so there's no balanced landing, so more likely than not, we will be seeing no locker force either, so we will be seeing a down, a slug, swiftly moving on to, but they actually managed to pop the generator. It was higher progress than even I had realized, and incredibly well played by E-Kitten's allies to break this and bring it down to a 4k0, demanding that Team Extazy take out on the Billy. Wow, very inspiring work here by E-Kitten to be able to break this up.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. That was the play of the century, and we do see Claude using
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable, taking up. The game is not over. Will we be taking out? Will we manage to get out our Claudette? They need to be playing this to absolute perfection. We do know Seb is fresher here, so they would be the most optimal player to go out, but we can't always pray for a wish, but we need to get someone out for best result here. This Claudette doing a great job kind of stealthing out, managing to kind of avoid the killer's gaze for now. But again, I don't even know where she is. I'm kind of scared. I don't know what.
Oh, she's on that.
Going.
She's on the top mid between 12 on the filler, just hiding out on the rock. However, Bloodstain, we have nothing to mask our trail here. We have fixated, but that, I don't think that's probably enough to carry us all the way to that slug. If you're Legion here, you can look at both of these gates. You can patrol your slug. This is just a very good position to be in. You can even take your hook. Okay, we're getting maybe slightly bit impatient here to take this hook, but I have a feeling that they know Claudette is around. I feel like they know it in their bones. They saw a crow fly. Were they able to pay attention to that and find it? Did they see the crow? I saw the crow. Easier to say from spec. But no, it doesn't seem like the crow was spotted. So a bit more time of reprieve for our Claudette player here, who really wants to try to get this unhook happening. Not even looking to try to reposition for a hatch play or maybe a sneaky gate. No, we just kind of want to get this out. It's only worth one more hook state. So currently it is not as not as supposed to believe not to be as pressing to be her own escape, but more likely trying to get set. But this pull should on paper be impossible, Field.
Yeah, on paper it should be impossible, but we thought breaking that 5 gen may be impossible. But E-Kitten Lines really did show us that it is possible eventually. But with this Claudette and with this hill being placed so tactically, it's so hard because every angle is really covered. I think the only thing they can really do is have a prayer on hatch. Maybe just being able to stealth out or be able to get round 2 Shack's out to get the hatch, or just being able to do something in the sense of just sneaking by, but it is looking very unlikely, like you said.
Yeah, very difficult situation to be in, and now the second stage is gonna come out. I'm sure Legion is panicking a little bit though. You have to panic a little bit. You never know when can you leave, when can you make a break for the hatch that you're assuming the Claudette is going towards, because that's what I'd be thinking. I will not be thinking that we can get any more out of this that we already do. I think we're gonna have to maybe even thinking about settling for the 11 stages, but we can hold that chainsaw up all day. The gates aren't getting done. Claudette is simply finding a beautiful home behind this rock here, and can't even really leave, unfortunately, without being spotted. I think, are we gonna see Claudette's grit and perseverance prevail, or is Legion gonna be able to get them? Oh, we're on the move. Never mind. Okay, we moved a little bit. We managed to get a few more inches of space, dominating this space right here. But it's such an awkward position here, it feels like. What do you even play for? You were in a bad spot where you couldn't go either for the pool, the pick, the gates, or the hatch. So all you have left in this rock, the sprint burst finally comes out. The crouch stick, a beautiful crouch stick on the side of the car, but the M1 is surely going to come through, and that is an interruption. 4k0. Well played by Extazy, but even bigger congratulations to E-Kitten Alliance here for being able to bring this back all the way from what looked to be like even a 4K2, 4K1 situation down to 4K0, and now we're gonna be loading in with Team what is it, with Team E-Kitten on the
Ecstasy.
killer, Team Ecstasy on the
On the
survivor
serve,
side,
yes.
correct? And they need to get out. So tall order, definitely a tall order.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the second set of Billy here, where we have E-Kitten Alliance on the killer with Extazy on the serve. We did see a fabulous performance coming in from E-Kitten's serves last round, resulting in a 4K0. So LG here needs to be able to 4K1 to basically take the set. We do have quite an early find, which is going to be the Nomada player. They need to have a good chaser to be able to make this set work, because obviously they are one hit away, but we are doing a great job kind of reading around the rock here, but I'm not alone on the casting team. I'm still here with Volcus. Volcus, what do you think of the win con? Do you think it's possible?
Ooh, of course I do. Of course, I believe in any and all players here in Dead by Dawn. So I'm fully confident that we're going to be seeing a wonderful, wonderful match here. And I must say, I do like this build a lot more. As I say that Ruin has already been cleansed, I just realized my mistake. My mistake. I'll take it all back. But Eruption being a more consistent perk, in my opinion, in the generator holding, especially when you're playing for 4K1, you need to make these good sort of generator kicks matter, and I think Eruption is definitely the play. But seeing this here, I always find it very interesting. The chase with Legion was unsuccessful for our Billy player here for E-Kitten. So it's very interesting when the killer who just played is now playing Survivor and playing the killer that they supposedly specialize in. So very, very interesting to see that they know the counterplay also. I love seeing that. And as I say that, we do find our Adam player here right on the top side. We don't seem to have any sort of 5-gen or 4-gen, so the task is indeed becoming harder for our Billy player right now. But I think I think it's still doable. I'm going to put my faith and say that a 4K1 will not be an easy win condition to achieve.
Yeah, especially since Billy is the snowballing killer. We do see a fabulous down coming in here, which is going to just result in her coming in at 5 gens. We don't have like a lot of progress across the board, which is what you'd want to be seeing with such a start here. But we are going to be kind of spreading out. I will say, like you said before, with the RNG being a little different, seems to be a little looser than we saw last round. I'm guessing XC did do some break to the RNG just to make sure that they can get that spread they needed. But LJ is going to have none of it and be able to come back with a vengeance and hold whatever they can towards the chase.
Definitely. I mean, it seems to me that if I was a killer player here playing for a 4K1 win condition, I think this mid to sort of bottom left corner of the map bottom right corner of the map is the most holdable. I mean, of course, Hillbilly has insane mobility, insane map pressure, so he can kind of hold whatever gens he wishes, but of course, the further apart they are, the more time the survivors have to pre-run, get comms out, and go into position. We say here the first generator will be popping, but we do have eyes on a potential tunnel out here. 50-second BT is going to allow them to make the portion of the map that they want. Good job there missing the chainsaw to avoid tagging the BT and giving even more distance. Balance landing coming through, but very, very good patience here from our Hillbilly player. Trying to get this to happen. We're going to be stuck around this filler rock here. Safe, relatively safe filler. Maybe break it and go. For the M1, we're going to make the tower. We have another filler right next to this tower, but it's only a 4-lane, and we do have Bamboozle, so we should be able to shut this down pretty quickly. Not sure about pulling up the chainsaw here. Personally, even though I'm not the Hillbilly player of all time, I would just M1 this. It seems to have worked out, so Adam is going to be going down, and that is going to be a survivor on the second stage, presumably very, very soon. So I'd say this is a pretty decent start. If you want to have to be playing this as a Hillbilly, you just have to make sure you're using the time in between hooks to pressure the map and not allow the survivors to get free progress. Unfortunately, the Ruin is gone well early into the match, so we can't rely on that for free regression. We're going to have to play around this Eruption, and that, even though it is a very powerful perk, it eats through gen kicks like there's no tomorrow. So since we need to play for 4K1, we really need to decide what generators we want to keep fighting for and what generators we're simply going to have to let go. And it seems like our killer player here is going to be choosing to keep the pressure on the main gen, which is a wise choice in my opinion, Feels.
Yes, for sure, it's the best way they can play this. What Ellen's doing, which we didn't see last round, was kind of hard focusing on the tunnel out, forcing down to a freebie early on to get the game kind of a little harder for survivors here. Survivors are popping gens though for the hook. I think they realize that they might need to let this person die. We
Oh
do
my god!
see Interstellar avoiding, but not going to be able to
Look
sneak
at
past.
this! Beautiful body blocks, beautiful, beautiful body blocks coming out from Eldo. Really, really impressive movement right after the chainsaw with a limited movement speed. Really, really well done. If you were able to deny this unhook, then we're in a much, much better spot. We're going into our win condition with no... Oh, the two-man is here! But the body block... Wait! Wait! No, we get it. We're able to get the unhook. Oh, and we don't get the next level trade for it. Another generator is going to pop soon by Ray, but we're going into our win condition gen here with no other progress and eyes on a potential tunnel lot as well. If we go 3v1 right now, feels this is going to be a problem. This is not going to be easy for our survivors. If we go 3v1 right now, we need to make this chase last ever so slightly. Win a couple 50s here, hopefully. That's going to be a swing and a hit, I believe. That is indeed. Alright, trying to come in from the sidelines here to take a hit, but unfortunately unable to do so. But the flashlight save coming in from off screen to make this Billy player's day worse. And now that this tunnel out has been successfully hindered, we're going to be buying precious time to get the other unhook and put progress on of these generators.
This is the game of all tensions. It feels like it's pulling back and forth on who is taking it. And most likely we're going down here. I don't think we want to have them up. I think we have a little bit of vengeance on the flashlight save, which is all fairness. But we are going to be following up chase onto our A2, who is our Nomida player, not our Tunnelite though. So I'm surprised that we're kind of spreading hooks now, but I feel like since we have kind of lost our Adam, that we might just be kind of a little worried at this moment in time, because obviously when you're Tunnelite, their whole gameplay was based on being able to get that Tunnelite out, but again, Extazy are not making it easy for the Tunnelite to be let go so quickly.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hindering the tunnel out is one of the fastest ways to guarantee that you're not getting 4K'd. A 4v1 situation is too much for almost any killer to manage, so the quicker we get to a 3v1, the absolute better, as I'm sure you already know. And as I say that, eyes on the tunnel out once again, only this real filler palette here to play, but we're unable to go through and break it, allowing for a connection to this broken truck window. Even though it's unsafe, it can still be made much stronger due to that filler palette. They're a really good filler palette. We'll go back towards our active gen here. We need to put Eruption on this and hopefully go back top or get a quick down onto our Nancy. No, I think we're going to choose to go back top. I would assume that they will be taking some time to reset their tunnel out, trying to make something happen just so we don't go 3v1. We can guarantee that this gen pops, even though they have put a lot of pressure on the map, and these gens are so far apart here, it feels. This looked incredible for the killer. The hook was protected. The trade didn't seem like it could go through, but a beautiful two-man from from my names.
I think it was our Legion and Interstellar who was taking the bow here.
Thank you very much for remembering much better than me, Phil. Thank you. Pick up the slack for me. But yes, definitely, it was an incredible attempt that single-handedly brought the game back, and now I fear this is all too much. 4 survivors alive, even though 3 of them are injured, 1 of them permanently. So currently, it's just not looking plausible. Even if we get it down right now and the eruption on the other generator, it can very easily be stacked. 4K0 is the Tycon, and any sort of out will be a straight-up win. So it doesn't... I can't really think of a way where our Billy player here can make this work. That down on Nancy would have been great, but all of this back and forth might be just too little too late in this stage of the game.
Yeah, I feel like this is a bit risky to kind of go back and forth and not take these eruption hits when we can, because we did have our Nancy kind of on the edge map here. We do get door is activated. Oh, my bad, I'm a little confused there. But they would need to slug everything to at least get a tie here. Which tie would just mean they would go down to tiebreaker when they have to set, but it looks like it's not really possible unless Extazy are on the gate now and just take the outs, then first set would be going towards Extazy.
I mean, really well played by Extazy, though. They were faced with a challenging position on the survivor side, and they were able to make up for it and play well, and really show us the power of good coordination, even against such a dangerous killer as the Hillbilly. So yeah, it does seem very unlikely that we'll not be getting a single out here. Just one stage out the door will do it. The pull does come out onto Legion, and now there's too much pressure from the survivor. There's nothing you can really do here as the killer. Even if you were Blight, even if you were Nurse, doesn't matter which killer it is. The gate is going to open, and somebody will be exiting the premises, resulting in a 1-0 for Extazy. Even if this chase goes down immediately. Oh, swing and a miss, unfortunately. One last chase for the road. And yeah, no matter what right now. Yeah, there we go. The survivors are out, so that is 1-0 while we head into our artist set. So stay tuned to see what we can do there.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into the second set where we see artist ARP. Kind of also more of a classic set coming in. We do see E-Kitten Alliance on the killer so far, kind of going for mid on cross. We do see Corrupt in play currently, but I'm not alone on the casting team. I'm still here with Volgus. Volgus, are you an artist player by chance?
No, I'm not an artist player. I'm not a big fan of zoning, actually. I'm joking. Of course, artist, a killer I greatly, greatly respect. I think artist players, especially when we're playing ARP, I feel like over suffocation pit as well. ARP artist definitely requires a great sense of macro here. And I'm sure that L will be giving us a show like no other. Standard answers, of course. When are they going to make the Sever Hands base kit? That's what I want to know. That's the one thing the artist needs currently right now. And also a plethora of more talented artist players showing themselves up in competitive, because it feels like artist is a very I will never say boring, because I truly believe there is not a single boring set in this game. But I think Artist is one of those sets that's been played so much, and it almost feels kind of samey. Feels that's. I feel like when I watch an Artist set, I'm like, I feel like I've seen this before, but I'm hoping for some innovation to come around to the Artist soon.
Yeah, it's kind of the same with the holding cross, holding free gens, kind of the same thing going on and on. But we do have a nice little free gen on our bot side here. As I think a bit of a 4 gen actually, as I see. So they might be more preferable to hold bot side as they kind of are throwing mid, but we do see scratch marks going down the side here. Not quite finding the survivor yet, but we do see uh, them kind of just disappear. I don't think our artist really wants to waste too much time trying to find the missing survivor.
I mean, hmm. We're doing a great job macro-wise, not allowing any free crosses onto the side of the map that we're more interested in maintaining the generators in. But the corrupt intervention has been waited out, so we've essentially just started the game with one perk less right now. And even though these gens up top here are not the ones that are our main interest as the artist player here, they are still gens, and they will count. If all three of them get completed, the best you can ever hope for is 4K2. So it's definitely something to be wary of. A bit of a slow start is good for the artist to not allow free rotations, but it can also be a bit difficult if the survivors really lock in and are able to get one gen done maybe up here, and then a couple more being worked on in bottom as the chase has been committed. And I'm sure this com come out. Yeah, we have survivor on a shack gen, we have somebody on this bottom mid gen, so we have to make something happen. We need to get a hook. Of course, the agitation will help us bring the hook closer to where we need, but we need this chase to end as quickly as possible. Can we send the crow? Do we get the M1? Yes, we do manage to get the grab off of the pallet vault. And now the agitation. We have a beautiful hook here on 4. Nice Scourge hook. So, okay. Crisis averted. No free gens for our survivors here. Beautiful job by L to keep up the pace of the game, even with the slow early game.
Yeah, this is kind of the side you want to be seeing during this, and we do see them kind of pursuing down the bottom side with the hook kind of in the four gen here. We do see Shaq has got Blastmine on it, so having a bit of a good morning wake up as we get Blastmine getting a bit of a kick onto the gem. What I do really like in general about the set though is we did see a bit of a meta shift coming onto artists. We do see a lot more rapid brutality coming into set, which makes those chases just a little harder on those survivors, especially with just the speed after first initial hit. Like that, I've seen a lot more of an incline in the perk itself.
Ever since we Jason really brought that on for the first time on Artist, I remember everybody was looking at this going, rapid brutality, no eruption, no slowdown. What are we doing with Jason? But then he proved to everybody that forcing the survivor to make zero distance because they got hit by a bird versus make a bit more than zero distance from forcing the M1 like you're supposed to, it's definitely a difficult situation to put them in. So I would definitely say that this is the artist's best perk, one of her best perks, that forces the chases that are already difficult against artists to go where you want them to go. You can command a lot more respect over the space on the map. However, the only problem here I am seeing for Lurd, and I'm sure everybody at home has already noticed, is that that hook is on the top side of the map, the side that we do not care about. So more likely than not, we cannot commit this tunnel out, or we need to change our area of interest to top, which is again not possible. But the pool being found, beautiful crows there, great game sense from L to sniff out the hiding survivor. Now this will have to force another rotate all the way from bottom. Massive map, it's going to take some time. So L can now commit this comfortably and try to get something going right here. Is this going to be a crow hit? Yes, a crow hit, and now we can just see just exactly how little distance a survivor makes after being hit by a direct crow. Great rotation though, however, from our survivors to be able to get that pull. But now we can take this down and slag. No, never mind, the down does not come through, but we can in fact find our tunnel out and commit them. As always, I feel like always our artist wants to play for a 4K1 simply because 4K2 is always too much to ask for, and getting out is always kind of probable. So playing first on the artist, and you kind of need to get that 4K1 to instill your team the confidence to not get flashlight saved, but it does happen. L being flashlight saved once again, just like last game. The flashlights are very, very powerful here. For Team Extazy, making great use and again delaying another tunnel out. Beautiful, beautiful teamwork. It's like I'm seeing Team Elysium all over again.
Yeah, this is the altruism they need. They are not playing to the point of altruistically hurting the team, but really holding the best because we are preventing that tunnel out going out so quickly. But we do catch them around the shack, and shack is, as we all know, a little more dangerous on the artist side here. We are going to go down, but they bought just a little more time. I'm surprised our artist isn't just a little more paranoid over it, but seems confident enough to just go and pick, and that will be Night Angel going out of the match at 2 gens left. We do catch Interstellar kind of on this gen here, but I guess they're just going to try and take most chases just kind of up the map and try and play more on their bot side here.
I feel like this is a very, very playable situation for our survivors. The gen split is looking ideal. There's no 3 gen to be worrying about. So long as we don't make our chases on the active gens, and so long as we do not get found rotating for pull. But oh no, stop it. Stop it, the gen pop and the simultaneous flashlight save, that is the mental killer right there. And we're forced to commit one of the chases. L has to do something, lost a lot of pressure after that, but the last generator is 50%, might even be coming over for a stack. And if that doesn't happen, I'm sure our Adam player will be moving down the map to assist in this chase, maybe play for this pull, something of the sort. The down is probably going to be coming out right after this balance landing haste expires. That is indeed the case. And now we're going to be getting a hook here, but it's not going to be enough. We're going to be stacking the gen. I believe they might even pop before the pain res comes into play. Maybe not, actually. Maybe this is the pain res of dreams for L. 99 generator getting pain rest here, and now this is where a lot of teams can struggle. Your last generator has just been pain rest. What do you do? How do you recover? Great, they have made the correct decision of leaving. Do not keep stacking, do not keep getting greedy for it. Go up the map and just don't let the killer get extra pressure or a snowball starting from here. So very, very well done by our survivors. I must say they have impressed me greatly today with their macro decision making and coordination. So no matter, I believe, what happens in this race, it could be another pain risk, but it's all the way on the other side of the map. That gen, the last gen, can get stacked once again. Even if it gets pain risk, we might have a pop happening. But it seems our survivors are not opting to stack the gen, we're instead leaving somebody up top for the pull, which is a risky situation because we need to guarantee that Ace pops that gen just in case our Nancy player gets found here. So let's hope that that is in fact the case.
Yeah, this is kind of where they need to start pulling together. And the freebie, this is the hard part to be. We do see Blood and Smarts kind of leading way, which is not the person you want to be finding right in this moment in time. We need to finish that last gen to kind of give us some advantage. We do find Interstellar on the crane here, but the bird is just going to take them down. That is 2 down on top side. Do they just pop the gen to try and get the best kind of wink on they can? We don't, like, this might be the end of the game for them.
That's exactly what I was talking about. It's very risky not stacking that gen and playing for the pop of all the generators, instead parking a player up top for the unhook can be very, very risky. And even if this does come through, we need to unhook, we need to pick, and we need to reorganize and get back to all the way to the other side of the map. So L here could actually, in fact, just hold the cross, and they cannot do anything about this. Somebody needs to cross at some point, and L, as long as they were not getting baited, they would be able to hold that. But that doesn't seem to be the strategy they have chosen for. Instead, we're going to find Interstellar again, and we're going to try to make another down happen right on top of the other one. I believe our going for the M1 instead of the Crow, they're risky, but it does pay off in the end. Second stage for our Adam player for Skipatch here. So, and we find the pull. Oh no, this could be the end of the game, as you said here, Feels. We need to get this injury though quick. Wait for the dodge, but it doesn't hit. Wow, so close. You hear that killer instinct heartbeat telling us that, in fact, it was a very, very close call. But our next second tunnel out target, should say, is trapped on top on this filler. Not much to do here, but gets the stun. Is this going to be enough distance to make it somewhere? Smash Kid in play. This is exactly what our Survivor team needed to try to make some sort of recovery happen. The pickup is coming out on to Nancy, but we're going bottom. How are we going to get another generator pop here, Feels?
I don't know. I'm wondering if they might just understand that they cannot recover this, and they might go and double that gen. That was quite high progress down on the, I think, 8-ish here. I wouldn't be surprised if we tried to go for that, and I think our killer does recognize that and is trying to hook near the gen itself, kind of taking this mid-map so they can control a little easier. But with the Survivor being deaf, we are forced into a 2v. This gen is so close, and as I said, we do pop it out.
Oh my god, beautifully done by our Survivor to pop this gen. There were definitely bits of up and downs here, weren't they, Feels, in this game? There was some moments when you didn't know exactly how it was going to go, but I believe our survivors are going to be getting out here with a good 9 stages. Nope, excuse me, can I count?
That would be
yeah, that would be 9 stages.
Yeah,
oh my god, I can
stages.
count. Well done, me. But yes, 9 stages, 3 fresh onto our onto against our killer here. So 10 stage win con, very doable, but Artist, when it's a 10 stage win con, you're essentially asking for a 4K1. So let's see if they can make it happen.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the second set of Artist, where we see E-Kitten Alliance on the Survivor and Extazy on the Killer. We are finding someone a little early on this set compared to the other one. We do have Night Angel on the Killer currently. I am not alone, we are here with Volkus. Volkus, what do you think of the win con? What are we looking at to kind of achieve this win con?
So the win con here being 9 stages for fresh for the killer, or 10 stages in any way, pretty much in my eyes screams 4K. That is a high enough stages condition where on this map with this killer you're looking to play for a 4K1 and a 4K0, and this looks to be very doable with this bottom gen split. A 4 gen down here on bottom, and the gens are not even particularly far apart from each other. 2 of the closest gens being corrupt as well is not what you want to be seeing. We see Night Angel here opting not to use Rapid Brutality, which we were glazing earlier saying is Artist's best perk. So let's see if they can prove to us that the Artist does in fact not need it. However, the addition of Eruption into the kit will of course make it easier to achieve a 4K1 win condition or something of the sort. This first chase is going quite in the Survivor's favor so far. Unable to get it down on the shack. So now we have to hope we can get some crows going right now. Close but not quite. Another close call with the killer instinct of doom and despair for all my Artist players. And we have managed to maneuver the chase all the way to the top side. However, we have crossed an active generator in the meantime. So slightly disruptive for the survivors, but it seems that Night Angel is laser focused on getting this first down on the board.
And then we are seeing this chase kind of continue on. Benji doing a great job holding chase as much as possible. As I say that, I get caster cursed. We do see the birds coming through, but we will be seeing a gem most likely pop before we even get onto a pain res hook here. Probably even 2 gens popping at this point.
2.
Yeah, we do see 2 gens popping, which is going to be a little problematic for our Artist player here, because with the kind of stages that we need these chases to be shortened down a lot more. We also need to be able to kind of hold the map a lot better, but it seems to be E-Kitten Alliance is just kind of on top of that that pressure a lot more.
No, you're absolutely right here. They seem to be doing a much, I don't want to say a better job, because every game is different, and I don't want to downplay any team that we have here that have been more than brave enough to put themselves on the big screen and play for us here today, Dead by Dawn. But definitely a more organized showing of survivor coordination in terms of our rotations being better, gen selection for stacking. We still have that nasty 3 gen on bottom though, so but the problem is, if we cannot establish a tunnel out, that 3 gen is not as holdable, even with the addition of Eruption as a perk. It's going to be very, very difficult to not have the survivors be in a position where they can simply trade stages for progress. Now, it'll always sort of be the survivors' plan, and this gen already being a 75% progress is not what you want to see. Hopefully, the Eruption does enough work here so that we don't have to worry too much after this down comes through. If this down comes through in the gen, there's going to be a very big problem for our survivor side here. Night Angel needs to keep this chase, cut them off from the cross. Great job, and the agitation will surely mean that we can traverse and go all the way down to bottom, maybe even get a basement hook here, although that does feel slightly greedy. This pain res on bottom it will have to do, but a good chase and a good result. This is kind of what you want. This is a step in the right direction for Night Angel, but still long road ahead.
Yeah, this is definitely the long road. To be able to get the win because E-Kitten lines is not really making it easy. We do see Payments hit the Shack Gen currently, but we are seeing someone kind of scampering away kind of around the 5 side here. We are almost kind of proxy camping, holding people away, being able to snipe these gens up top as well. Because we do have a very nice free gen on the spot side. So I'm wondering if Night Angel is going to go more into kind of defensive gameplay because they said they need to get those stages, and the best way they can do is by holding these gens and kind of picking away at it time after time.
Yeah, in my humble opinion here, you need to use his artist map pressure to send the crows all across and not afford the free pull. Okay, it's not free, but it's not exactly the trade you needed here. We need to get this hook back in the cards. We need to have a bottom hook ready to go. Both potential tunnel out targets kind of playing together here. Choosing the one to go after the one with the borrow time effect still active. But great job zoning them, keeping them bottom. We need to get this done quickly now as the 50 takers run out. Beautiful max range crow onto Sin from Night Angel. Really, really good stuff, showing us what they're made of right here. And this is going to be a basement hook, which we all know what it means. If you're ever experienced in playing versus the artist, if you've ever scrimmed the artist, and you've ever tried to get somebody out of basement versus this killer, you soon realize that it is almost impossible, or at least a 2 or even 3, sometimes 3 survivor effort. You know, it needs a lot of members to make this possible. So the good thing is that we're still in the 4v1, so it might be playable, but if I'm on survivor side here, there's a lot of thinking to be done on how we're going to rotate. We need definitely to get our Nia player reset here. We do not want to be giving away another death hook for free. Should we come to that, get a sneaky pull, maybe do something. But if you're Night Angel, very, very wisely here, you will not be leaving this unattended anytime soon.
Yeah, they are kind of holding this basement hook as much as they can, as they should. This is kind of the play they need to force someone out so early, but also keeping the defense on these gens as much as they can. We are just kind of harassing our ace here, who's kind of sitting on our 8. We do see our Renato kind of sneaking up, trying to be able to get that pull for free, but is not quite able to get it. We do try and go for a little bit of a snipe here, but not quite managing to get the injury. But we do see Renato in front of Jem. We know Ace is down here. So like I said, it really is just everyone down the side. It's whether they commit or not, and that is Sin going to the campfire at 2 gens remaining. This is kind of what Night Angel needed to do at the moment.
Oh, definitely very, very well played here from Night Angel to be able to put himself in a great situation. Again, this region is brutal, and the basement hook, it's all too much, and I fear now we might be even getting another one. This generator needs to pop somehow, but I fear after that eruption, there is simply not been the time to have the progress and make anything happen. So I mean, yeah, this is just a very, very difficult situation for our survivors. Smacking somebody off an imaginary gen, don't even worry about it. Kicking with eruption. A gen can pop on the top side of the map. We simply do not care. The survivors can still do this. This is definitely not a lost situation. We can still try trading hook stages for progress, but the basement is really what's throwing off this well-balanced equation here. if this basement hook doesn't get resolved somehow, and by that I mean Nia is already in the basement getting this pull, then nobody can ever die in this state. Nobody can die in this part of the map. It would just be way too catastrophic. And now with our Renato player being also injured, this is becoming more and more of a dream rather than a reality for our Survivor team right now.
Yeah, this is kind of the place where I think we were trying to get Seb just to get out, but we get 2-tap on our Ace
That's
here.
what I mean about basement versus this killer behavior. Fix this, please. I'm joking, of course, but yes, this is definitely a very difficult situation, and that is exactly what you need to try to avoid.
Yeah, they can give anti-camp, they can give us extra BT, but I don't think anything was saving our Ace getting out of that basement, I'm not gonna lie. But we do get another kind of 2-tap coming in, which means that they're going back on the hoop, and that's going to be an extra stage. If they can get Seb here, this would be kind of the turning point they need. And with the pressure from obviously either a pain res or getting that basement hook, honestly, this could be a huge turning point for Team Extazy here.
For sure it could be, but again, very, very difficult. The macro reliance here is huge. The killer's attention has been shifted. The head-on and the cracker blind. Oh, no blind. How is that no blind? I have no idea. But the head-on, definitely going to be a bit of a distraction tactic here. I'm going to do a very small commit, I hope, onto our Renato. Don't want to get too greedy here. Get him down as quickly as possible. Put that pain res onto that generator. Forcing the locker. Yeah, we do not want a cascading number of slugs, and it seems like our Survivor team is playing the safer game and getting resets instead of trying to stack a generator, knowing that there is a pain res on the board to be had. So I believe that is definitely the more measured out, more thought out play. But Night Angel not choosing to go for the pain res hook on bottom mid, instead going more towards top. I can't say I understand the hook placement for that one, as they most definitely could have made this top mid, but nevertheless, maybe, oh, I believe that they might have been trying to find the reset with the hook location. That would have been absolutely huge if it paid off. However, such a high risk play will not be the case, which will allow our team to get this pull for free. And now if this gets reset, we're right back where we started. We're in a healthy 3v1, and we already have 7 stages on the board, which means we only need 2 more because we've already established all Feral Freshwood. So cannot afford to give 2 more stages and pop this last generator and get everybody out. This definitely sounds more like a dream than reality, but a stun like that might make the situation more possible for our Survivor side here. Night Angels trying to go. Yeah, the severed hands out on getting its value there. We have 2 survivors, but this is going to be a hit as the delay from getting out of a locker is huge. You really need to judge your distance as well if you're going to do that. So now Night Angel needs to be careful. We cannot overcommit this whatsoever, and feels here it would definitely be a I think it would be very well deserved if our survivors were able to pop this last generator, but it's just looking so difficult.
Yeah, it's looking really difficult, especially with Seb that went on to get pain res. We do see Nia and Chase here, but as Crows might be on the shorter side of the chase here. We only need a couple more stages till we take this this kind of win here. But again, Night Angel's holding these chases a lot quicker than what we started with originally. We do still have 2 pain res on the boards. I wonder if Nia is one of them, as we do see Nia is another pain res. Probably going to be hitting that gen at 8. But these survivors are going to have to play really, really well. We do know, obviously, Seb is still injured, which I'm surprised he's deciding to get the heal going on to be able to get these freebies just a little more organized and be able to get those gens a lot safer.
Yeah, and now we can only afford to give, well, we can't afford to give any more hooks. It's currently a 0 more hook stages allowed game. Night Angel, all it has to do is find 1 more injured survivor to commit onto them. If that can happen, then that will be the win for our killer side here. And it will, again, very hard fought, but somebody wants to take us into the tiebreaker, which will be very, very excited to see if it does come to fruition. However, we can never count the survivors out. A reset has happened. Very nicely strategically placed crows. I really like the placement of those crows there. It really shows the experience of our artist player. And yep, exactly, that's the crow tagging onto the survivor, giving the info in, because only one of the crows hit, so we know which gen they are on also. But now something needs to happen. Our Renato player needs to come in from the sidelines to try to make me take a hit, allow us to make a resource. A lot of resources left on the top side of the map, But again, this is just too much. They'll have to survive this chase, pop the gen, open the gate, and get everybody out without giving another stage. And against an artist, in this situation where we're far away from the gens, it's looking less and less likely. The M1 does come
Ooh.
out. We need to deny this hook. There's probably a flashlight save. Something should be happening on one side theory. There is indeed a Renato here, but no cracker, no flashlight, no head-on, nothing in play. And that, I believe, unless I'm mistaken about the win condition, this is the final and the winning hook for the killer side.
We do see the final gen going off just in time. They really did fight for that last gen. That was a really, really hard game in general. But if I remember correctly, I think you are correct. I think that would be our win condition met. I think we are just playing for kind of our end game and the glory of the
Best
chase
result.
in general. Yeah, the chase in general, and obviously the product we can get from it. But both teams played absolutely spectacularly over both sets. I'm really, really surprised, like how close these sets actually were.
Yeah, no, I think that was very, very hard fought. It looked like it could go either way many, many times during, but that's exactly what you want, and that has been a very exciting artist set. I was just saying they're getting a bit dull, but here comes Night Angel to prove me wrong, and of course, we'll now be heading onto our mastermind tiebreaker. So please stay tuned for that.